So the other group, the people opposed, and I label them Terrans, based on the word terra, with an A, the Earth, that's their perspective.
Yeah.
So you have these two groups, cosmos versus Terrans. So the Terran would say that the cosmos is a monster, because the cosmos, that's the people in favour of building these Artilects, they accept that risk. And to the Terran, the risk is just totally unacceptable. And hence, that's why I'm predicting a war. Now, I don't like it, of course, but I see it almost as inevitable. And to such an extent that I'm glad I'm alive now, that I won't see all this horror. That all of us alive now will definitely see the debate. The debate has already started.
It has.
Which is interesting. People are taking sides. The media is getting involved. For example, one of Ray Kurzweil's movies will be out in the first quarter of next year.
Next year? Oh, okay.
It's being finalised now. It's the title is let's see. Oh God.
It's something singularity related, right?
Yeah.
Singularity is in the title, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. There is transcendent man. With the double meaning, meaning Ray Kurzweil himself, but also humanity. Transcendent man. And that'll be out in the quarter. So the English-speaking countries, US, England, Canada, Australia, they're all making movies on this issue now. So next year, 09, 010, will be a big year, and I'm curious to see when the other countries will take it up. So I wouldn't be at all surprised in 5 years that virtually any educated person will be equally aware of this species dominance issue as say global warming or nuclear holocaust or poverty or the arms trade or any other big issues.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
I see that coming.
And now, I mean, we see this coming, right? I mean, you can see it coming, I can see it coming. I don't think it can be stopped. I know. The cosmos have a lot of arguments in favour of going ahead, and one of them is it's going to be virtually impossible to stop. I mean, the momentum will be so enormous, and not just economically. I mean, in the time frame we're talking about, I wouldn't be at all surprised that China and America will be at loggerheads for dominance. Oh, well, see, there I'm kind of a little bit in disagreement. Now, you have a better perspective because you're in China, but I see the two countries as inextricably linked economically, and that a war would be suicide for both. I mean, normally war is kind of suicide for both, but China, stirring up trouble, or the United States making some sort of a move of war would, because they're so linked, it would seem to be suicide. So I don't know that I would. I don't think that there's going to be that kind of loggerhead, as you said, between the U.S. and China. I think that's one country almost at this point.
Well, I hope you're right. And in fact, my second book is it's all about these kinds of arguments leading eventually to the creation of a global state. They're called simply globa.
Sure.
But I see that happening. It's hard to say, but around mid-century, more or less. But let's say there's a major rivalry in the next 20, 30-year time frame. And if, it's a big if, and probably it will not happen, but if China has not made the switch to democracy in that time frame, then America will continue to despise the Chinese government. Because, I don't know, Mao Zedong, according to recent biographies, killed about 70 million people.
Right.
Which is history's greatest monster.
Yeah.
More than Stalin or Hitler, and yet his face is still on the money.
Right.
Imagine putting Hitler's face on the euro.
I know. That would be rather amazing. But
so there's a lot of hostility still.
But because of this economic competition, whether or not
I think it's more than that. I think it's deeper than just economic rivalry. It's deep philosophical disagreement. I mean, most Westerners despise the Chinese government. Look what they did in Tiananmen. And even today, there's 1,000 Lao Gai. That's the Chinese name for a gulag, the political prisoner work camps, and they still exist.
Okay.
So if that sort of thing still continues in 20 or 30 years' time, then I'm worried. So therefore, the Minister of Defence of one country cannot afford to allow the rival country to get ahead of it in terms of the level of artificial intelligence in its soldier robots, blah, blah, blah.
So whether it's military or economic reasons, it seems that our technological progress and the push toward more advanced artificial intelligence is going to continue. So that brings us to the point here, how can we safely, I mean, maybe it's an oxymoron or it's a paradox to safely develop artificial general intelligence. But what do you see as the best possible way to navigate through this dangerous future? How can we? I mean, obviously, I'm here. I'm the executive director of the Immortality Institute, and people you're familiar with. Including Aubrey de Grey, and I mean, we're all looking to extend our lives and to go peacefully into the future, but we have this hanging over our head, the AGI problem, and the Artilect war, the potential for that. How can we avoid that?
Well, you can probably hear from my sigh. I have yet to find a way. Like the 09 AGI World Conference is coming up.
Yeah.
We have to submit papers. I think the deadline's in a few days. So I'll submit two. One's about what my own artificial brain lab in China has been doing, sort of summary the last year or so.
Okay.
But the other one is more on this problem. I think the paper is called, let's see, The Rise of the Artilect, Heaven or Hell.
Heaven or Hell, the rise of the Artilect.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And part of it is picking against some people who feel that it's possible to ensure that this rise, in fact, they will remain friendly to human beings. So I think I chose about half a dozen reasons why I think that's not realistic.
Sure.
I mean, it's easy to argue against. So, in a nutshell, I just do not see a way out. I mean, there are scenarios, of course, where humanity escapes.
Yeah. What about this cyborg instance where, say, a human being gets some sort of nanotech computational capability, a cyborg route, and becomes a super intellect, an Artilect. Wouldn't that person have some connection to the human race, even if 99.999% of their brain ended up being silicon nanotech type computational device? Wouldn't they have a history, an empathy for the rest of the human beings that were left on the planet?
Well, see, now you're getting to the heart of the debate.
Okay. I'm glad I got to the heart of it.
Right. To me, the key word in this whole debate is, do we or don't we build these Artilects, which I see being the dominant question for the global politics of this century. I really believe that. And a key word in this whole debate, whether we build them or not, is risk. Okay?
Yeah.
Now imagine you're a top Terran politician.
Yeah.
Would you take the risk? And I just see the Terranist major philosophy being that the only way effectively to ensure that the risk is zero, that the risk that humanity might get wiped out by these Artilects when they come into being, either the cyborg route or the pure machine route, either way, it's effectively the same. Then the only way to ensure that risk is zero is that the machines, the Artilects, are never built, underlined, never built in the first place. Now, of course, that philosophy runs flatly against what the cosmists want, because for them it's almost a religion. I mean, you'd be building gods. They'd be immortal. They'd think about 1 million times faster than we do, virtually unlimited memory. They'd be trillions and trillions of times more intelligent than we are. They could go anywhere, do anything. I mean, yeah, they'd be gods. So God building on the part of the cosmos, I see being pretty well the major motives for doing this. So you're talking now two very